Okay, this is going to be a part of the A to Z. Next up on the list is Alister. Alister's... Okay, his damage is magic, but at the same time, he does need auto attacks, which is, as you can see from his style, because they changed his abilities a little bit. That was forever ago, but still. Yeah, his difficulty is right. He really doesn't take that much skill at all to play, but at the same time, you can, like... He's one of the champions that I like in the fact where you can tell the difference between someone that just started playing him and someone that knows his way around him pretty well. Kind of like Master Yi, but like it's more accentuated with Alistair than it is with Master Yi. For his lore, always a mighty warrior with a fearsome reputation, Alistair seeks revenge for the death of his clan at the hands of the Noxian Empire. Though he was enslaved and forced into the life of a gladiator, his unbreakable will was what kept him from truly becoming a beast. Now free of the chains of his former master, he fights in the name of the downtrodden and the disadvantaged, his rage as much a weapon as his horns, hooves, and fists. Then he has like three fingers. Yeah, he only has like 3 fingers on each hand. I fully do like his lore. I wish they went into a bit more detail with it. They probably do on like some sort of site, like with like Rengar, how he's actually from Shurima with like some Killian group. I don't remember how to say it, but like who's like people that he fought in the gladiator arena, things like that, who he was enslaved by, if he actually had any like family or anything that was also killed, stuff like that. I would like to be more elaborated, like actually in this. He is very high on crowd control. He has 2 knockups plus a stun, so you know that's 3 different forms of hard CC is definitely a problem. I wouldn't say, well, not a problem, like a problem for the enemy, not for him. I will also agree with the toughness, especially with his ult, which I kind of am very much annoyed by his ult, but yeah. And then I also agree with the utility because he can also heal. Okay, now his passive is Triumphant Roar. Alistair charges his roar by stunning or displacing enemy champions or when nearby enemies die. When fully charged, he heals himself and all nearby allied champions. This used to be his like old E instead of what it is now. And I like it, but I also don't at the same time. One, I wish it was actually just like an AoE heal that also affects minions. Why? I myself don't fully know. I just kind of wish it did. I don't fully wish it was from displacing. I wish it was more along the lines of like auto attacks and stunning enemies, because his E is an auto attack that stuns basically, and the reason I don't want it to be from displacing is because both his Q and his W displace, so it literally means that his Q, W, and E all help charge it. So I wish it was just more auto attacks on enemy champions and stuns on enemy champions as well. Because Alistair actually can't, like, that'll kind of force him to weave auto attacks in while fighting people. And, like, with his kit, he'd be able to do it with ease, so it wouldn't even be, like, a really big problem. That's basically all I have with his passive. Pulverize. Alistair smashes the ground, dealing damage to nearby enemies and tossing them into the air. I don't really have any problems with this. I wish that, like... I don't really know how I want to say this. Like, I don't wish the range was shorter, nor do I wish it was bigger. I wish it was more, predictable. I guess, because there's been so many times where I've thought I'm out of the range of his pulverize, but nope, I still get knocked up anyway, and it's like, well, how am I supposed to know where's safe and where isn't? Like, I'm fine with his WQ knockup, like, combo, because if you hit W and then, like, right before you land on them, you hit, like, your Q, it still does the damage of both of them to them, but it will also knock them up. Like it'll double knock them up, so it keeps them still for a long time, and it's just a good combo. I'm fine with that, but like I wish. But there's been a lot of times where he's just walked over, knocked me up, then from me being knocked up, walked around me, and then W'd me like into his team. Now I'm fine with that happening. I just wish there was more, I guess, counterplay on how I can avoid it happening. Like, yeah, obviously, just avoid him, get away from him, but at the same time, like, abilities, skill shots and such, you can see where they're going to go, you can see what's going to happen. AoE abilities around you, you can also expect to an extent, like Riven. Like, you can, for the most part, tell when she's going to jump, when she's going to stun, things like that. But Alister, like, you know he's gonna hit his Q, but you have no idea when. And you can't really, like, tell if you're in range or not, because his Q range is a lot wider than what you'd think. Like he smashes this area and he's, like, just in the rocks, but, like, there's been, if you're, like, just on the outside of this, like, right around here, you'd probably be knocked up as well. And that's why I'm saying, like, I wish I could tell a bit more, because you can't really tell until after it's already happened. I guess, like, if you play the champion a lot, and if you're, like, a pro player, then, yeah, you'd be able to tell, oh, his, pulverize is 10 units long. It's probably, like, 50 or something like that, because I'm so surprised by how, like, huge the units are in this game. But, and because of that, I can't get any closer than this, but, like, an average player won't be like that. And, yeah, that annoys me. So I just wish there was more of a, like, a counterplay option of just, like, where's the radius. Headbutt, Alister rams a target with his head, dealing damage and knocking the target back. See, this is where I'm fine with this ability. Yet again, I really don't know how big, like, the range is that he's capable of dashing to you, but at the same time, I'm completely fine with that. Same with how I'm fine with, like, the headbutt then Q pulverize combo. Completely fine with. I just, as I was saying before, I just wish the Q was a little bit easier to tell. But yeah, as his W, I don't have any problems with. I think it's fine just the way it is, especially because he's a bull. So if he doesn't have a headbutt ability, then there's something wrong. Trample. Alister tramples nearby enemies' units, ignoring unit collision and gaining stack if he damages an enemy champion. At full stacks, Alister's next basic attack against an enemy champion deals additional magic damage and stuns them. This actually used to be what his old ult was, basically, except for the stun. They basically just swapped his E and his ult. I think they even swapped, like, the icons for it, too. I think, yeah, the icons are basically the exact same. I do really like this ability. I think that it's all around good. Oh, I don't know what I was getting at. I'm fine with it stunning and all. I just it's sometimes a wee bit. It's kind of like the same problem I have with a few other people. Like Nautilus is passive, where I love Nautilus, so it's like obviously I'm not gonna. So like I still gonna complain, even though it's something I enjoy doing. Is the auto attack? I hate when auto attacks in general. So I guess it's for a lot of different people. They go through at, like, distances that they really shouldn't. And, like, I hate when that happens with Alister's as well. Like, after you flash, but while he's mid auto attack, and he finishes the auto attack, so you're stunned even though you're a full flash distance away. Like, things like that bug me, but that's, like, auto attacks in general, so I can't really blame the specific ability for it. And I don't really know how in the world Riot would do it. I actually kind of wish that Riot would revert flashes to what they used to be, where once you flashed, you went invulnerable for, like, a second, and then you came back to being vulnerable. Now, I know that would make, like, tower diving a lot easier, but at the same time, like, come on, please. Then his last abilities are, this is the ability I hate the most. Unbreakable Will. Alister lets out a wild roar, removing all crowd control effects on himself and reducing incoming physical and magic damage for the duration. It's like a 45% decrease to all damage to him for a while, plus anti-crowd control. Now, obviously, it's just crowd control that's already on him, but at the same time, I hate this ability. It just, like, you're about to kill Alister, or he's at like half health, and you're slowly whittling him down. He's going to die. He activates this ability, and he just ignores you people. And he just keeps walking. You keep hitting him, but he just says, I don't care. And then there's the times when like a group fight starts where you start to hit him a little bit, and then he ults, dashes back into your group, knocks up everyone, and is just, now you start obviously hitting the other people and not him and like the people on his team, but he's just smacking away at you from the inside. And like even the people that are trying to hit him aren't doing any damage to him. This ability annoys me a bit. I find it still good. I don't really think it needs to be changed. It's more of just an annoyance to me personally than anything else. I don't really know how I want to put this. I wish that it worked in a little bit different of a way. Like, it doesn't reduce literally all types of damage, and it, like, works in the way of... You see how these things are always spinning around him? I wish that, like, things that hit these were reduced, but if you weave it in between hand, then it's not reduced, or something like that. I don't really know how they do it, but I basically wish that he had, like, a shield that was kind of like Urgot's passive. Only take away 2 of Urgot's legs. Let's make him have 4 legs instead of 6. I think he has 6 legs. Yeah. And make it so that they're like these shields that are around him, and that the things that hit the shields are like reduced in damage, kind of like Brahm's one ability. And then the things that go through the shield or miss the shield do their actual damage. Like, that's something I would like to see, just because it would make it like at least feasible or accidentally feasible to damage him. But I don't really know how they do that, so at the same time I wouldn't really expect them to be able to just figure out how to do that and just make it that way. Okay, but overall, when it comes to his abilities, especially because of how much they talk about how he has so much rage, I wish that instead of having a mana bar first off, he had a rage bar. Like Tryndamere, Renekton, and Aatrox. So yeah, I wish that he had a rage bar instead. Actually, I don't think Aatrox's is a rage bar. I think it's more of just a whatever the heck it's called. Like a blood bar, kind of like Vladimir as well. He has more of a blood bar. But I wish that things changed based on how much rage he has. Sort of like, what's his face? Renekton. I wish that his passive was, what's it called right now? Triumphant Roar. I wish it was more of like Triumphant Rage or something like that. Or, Roaring Rage. Something along those lines. Where once his rage bar gets completely full, then he does exactly what he does. He roars, and then he heals the allies around him, but it takes like a percentage of the rage, and then it will have like a cooldown on it before it can happen again. And then like the rage will build up, as I was saying, from auto attacks, from stuns, but not from displacement. I wish that like his pulverize took like a small amount of rage, like a really little small amount of rage to do, and that's really all I wish. I don't wish it had any upgrade from having a rage bar, or from like getting to over a percentage, kind of like Renekton's. I wish it didn't. But his W, I wish that that had like an increase in rage, the more rage that goes into it, basically. His E is the only ability that I would have he'd be capable of doing with, like... all of his abilities I'd want him to be able to use without rage, but, like, it's better to use with rage. His E should be used only... Not only, but, like, when you have less rage, because every time the little, like, burst around him goes off, that should give him a little bit of rage. You know how... I'll show it fast. Those AoE bursts around him that build the chain. How does... The chain has 5 pieces, but... I want to see this. 1, 2, 3. Okay, it is full 5. I wasn't sure if it was a full 5 or if it was 3 or something along those lines. I wish that each one of those 5, like, bursts around him also gave him some rage, and then when he did the auto attack stun, then that gave him more rage. I wish that his W had more of, like, a range. The more rage he has, at like a max of 50 rage. And then I wish that his alt gave him more, like, reduction, with the max reduction being at what it currently is for how much rage he has. I understand this would give him a bit more, like, free roam, like non-mana champions. Like, currently he's a mana champion, so once he runs out of mana, then he's not useless, but he's a lot less useful. And I understand this would make him, like, permanently useful, so what would obviously need to happen was his cooldowns would need to be adjusted to fit it. Like, his E would probably need to have a bigger cooldown. But at the same time, I feel like it would definitely be very useful, plus it would go well with his lore because of the rage. It would work well with all of his abilities. Things like that. Maybe his Q can also gain a slow or something like that from rage, because I wouldn't want his Q to not be affected at all. But yeah, like, his W would gain more range to, like, how he can dash to people, not how far away they would be flung from him, though. And I wish that his Q, I guess, just, like, had a slow after you get knocked up. And then his E would still be the exact same, but it would help him gain more rage. And then his R... yet again, at like a max of, I don't know, I'm going to say like 75 rage, would depend on how much reduction he gets. His passive would just slowly build it up, and when he gets to a certain point, he would roar, healing all allies around him, minions and everything. And he would use a little bit of rage for that, but then it'd go on cooldown. That way he'd still have enough for, like, the rest of his abilities. And so, yeah, so just recap is give him a rage bar, make his passive heal everything, only change the Q if he gets a rage bar with adding a slow. W, like it, but as I was saying before, make it so that the rage gives a bigger range if it goes to rage bar. The E would just give more rage, but I like it the way it is now, except for I wish that, like... should I put this? Like, that the auto attack was harder to pull off, but that's, like, the same with all auto attack abilities. Like any CC auto attack abilities, I wish they were all the same in that sense, where they were just, like, harder to do. Like, it goes in the line of point and click CC that I hate with a burning passion. Like, his W also does, but, like, his W is a bit more reasonable because you get flung away if he doesn't do the Q. So, like, yeah, it's CC, but at the same time, it's CC that depends on his location and, like, skill to use. His E is just a point and click. I always hate point and click CC, but I'm not trying to, like, drastically change the entire ability. Like, I can for some people, but for Alister, I like his kit for the most part. And then I was saying, like, his R, I wish that they either did one of two things, or both things if they really want to. Make it so that those rotating shields around him are actual shields, that the damage has to hit to do the reduction, and if they don't hit, then the reduction doesn't happen. and but also do it the rage bar so that the reduction is higher for the more rage he has. And currently, in the max of reduction would be what his reduction currently is. If they do the rage bar, I don't think they should do the shield thing, just because like it wouldn't even matter how much rage you have then if they just dodge the shields. But at the same time, of but yeah, like you can still, if you want to, maybe if you have more rage, it will also give you bonus reduction, but not the shields. But the shields will still be there. So if they hit the shield and you, it basically does nothing, side of the deal. But then that'd be very aggravating and annoying. So I wouldn't really want that to happen. Okay, skins. The base skin, Black Alister. I forgot about this skin. I'm pretty sure this skin you like can't buy anymore. I don't really know. Maybe it's on like a special sale just for like Christmas or something, or the New Year. I don't really know, but I'm fine with Black Alister. Kind of forgot about it. As I was saying, I like the red hair for the most part. I wish this is a bit excessive of a horn, or not a horn, a nose ring. I don't know why I'm thinking of horns. I wish that his horns were a bit more complex for this, or maybe like they were gold or flaming or something like those lines. And for the rest of the skin, I'm happy with the splash art. I don't really know about the end game. I also like, yet again, like, just why does he need the biggest nose ring in the world? So like that's first off. I wish that the nose ring was a bit different. I wish that these, like, there were more of these little crack things like all around both of his arms. I wish that the chains were like a bit more prevalent on him. That's about it though. Matador Alister, I actually really like. I wish that he was wearing a bit more red though. Now I understand that, or like he had a red cape or something along those lines because of, yeah, or I don't really know if there is an effect with the skin, but if there's an effect that like every time he does his W, like a little red cape flies off real fast and then like dissipates, that would be a nice touch. Longhorn Alister, I don't really get the whole glowing thing. I wish that the horns actually were a bit more like special, I guess I'm gonna say. I understand that like it's not talking about his actual horns, but at the same time, I wish that they were a bit more special. I don't really like this skin, not gonna lie. I wish it was like a bit more. I don't know, honestly. I think it's just missing something. That's really all I have for it. I love the Unchained Alistair because this is like like a lore skin of what he looks like after he was like captured by the gladiator since he was trapped in like the gladiatory arena. The skin is supposed to be like what he looked like while he was in it, I believe. And I really do like it, and I think it's a fine skin. Another skin that I really do like, I wish that they had like a bigger horn in the middle though, is the Infernal. I wish that they had like a bit more fire effect instead of him just being red with armor on. Sweeper Alister is another skin that I do like, but yet again, I wish there was like I'm gonna say a bit more with it, but nah, this skin is fine the way it is. Marauder, I love this skin. Everything about this skin I think is fine just the way it is, except for I wish that his horns were just a wee bit more like jagged, I guess is the best way for it. I wish that this like extended out to be a bit like not as big of a gap here type deal, but that's about it. I forgot about the SKT Alistair skin, and it's the SKT Alistair skin. I don't really have any big changes to it, so yeah. Moo Cow Alistair. I hate this skin. I hate most of these skins right here. Just the Renekton skin bugs me. The Cannon bugs me. All of these skins very much bug me. Especially like with the whole cowbell thing that he gains while he's in this unit. Oh my god, I hate this skin. I think the idea for it is great. I think the execution is also good. But I wish that instead of having like this weird messed up face, it was more of an actual cow's face. I think that would give it a bit more. I understand he's like a cow in a cow suit, but at the same time, I wish that they went a bit more with him just like being a cow. And those are all of his skins. Those are my opinions on them. I don't have any actual like skin ideas for him though. Like, why does this skin have a normal nose ring, but what? Or why does this one not have one? Okay, that's something. I wish. Where is it? Here. I wish this skin had a nose ring. Bah. But the other ones I think are fine. Like, what does this one have on again? Yeah, I don't really have any direct skins except for instead of just having one of what he looked like while he was in the arena like this, have one that looked like if he never, like, his clan still existed. Like, have his horn still fully intact, have no chains or scars on his entire body, have him, like, fully clothed from, like, not just this little thing, but, like, have clothes all over him, like, over his arms and everything, and part on his back, but not fully on his back, make it, like, so he still has a bit of a mane. Not, like, full, like, a suit and tie type deal, maybe, like, rags. Just, like, what a little Minotaur clan would have, just, like, rags over parts of their body type deal. And then maybe, like, give him, like, maces or something like that for his auto attack. But yeah, just, like, if he was never attacked at all was like, the main goal. Is if his clan was never attacked and he was, like, happy. Now, I understand that doesn't really go with the rage idea that I was coming up with, but at the same time, just not full of rage. Like, a skin of if he wasn't attacked. Okay, and that'll be all of the Alister A to Z. So, leave a like if you enjoyed the video, if you thought my ideas were good. Leave a comment if you disagree or agree with any of my ideas. If you happen to know of any Riot members, tell them of me, if you can. I will be very grateful. Because I would love to have, like, any of the ideas in this A to Z or any of my thoughts that I have on any game to actually come to fruition. But, yeah, so, and if you want to see more, subscribe. So, I bid you all adieu. Goodbye.